In April 1970, Commander Jim Lovell, Jack Swigert, and Fred Hayes prepared for Apollo 13. Their mission was to be the third human landing on the moon, another step into the vast cosmos for mankind. The launch was a spectacle of controlled power. The Saturn V rocket thundered off the pad, pushing the astronauts through Earth's atmosphere with immense force. The journey to the moon had begun without any issues. For 2 days, the mission proceeded flawlessly. The crew of Apollo 13 settled into their routine, coasting through the vacuum of space, with Earth shrinking behind them and the moon growing ever larger in their sights. As part of a standard procedure, Mission Control asked the crew to stir the cryogenic oxygen tanks. It was a routine task, performed on previous missions, meant to ensure the readings were accurate. Suddenly, a loud bang echoed through the spacecraft. Alarms blared as the ship shuddered violently. Swigert's calm voice cut through the static, delivering the iconic words, "Okay, Houston, we've had a problem here." Back in Houston, controllers stared at their screens in disbelief. The data pouring in made no sense. Key systems were failing, and oxygen levels were plummeting. The moon mission was instantly in jeopardy. Lovell peered out the window and saw the terrifying truth. The spacecraft was venting a gas into space. He reported back to a stunned Mission Control, confirming this was not just an instrumentation failure. The reality was dire. An oxygen tank had exploded, crippling the command module Odyssey. With life support failing, the primary mission was over. A new, more desperate mission had just begun: survival. There would be no lunar landing. The singular goal now was to get the 3 men home alive. They would have to swing around the moon and use its gravity to slingshot them back toward Earth. The crippled command module was dying. Their only hope was the lunar module, Aquarius, which was designed to support 2 men for 2 days. Now it would have to support 3 men for 4 days. To save its precious remaining battery power for re-entry, the command module was completely shut down. The astronauts moved into the cold, dark lunar module, now their fragile lifeboat in the void of space. As power was conserved, temperatures inside the lunar module plummeted. Condensation formed on every surface, and the astronauts shivered in the freezing cold. It was a dark and miserable journey. A new, deadly problem soon emerged. With 3 men exhaling in a craft built for 2, the carbon dioxide levels began to rise to dangerous levels, threatening to suffocate the crew before they reached Earth. The command module had plenty of square lithium hydroxide canisters to scrub the air. However, the lunar module system required round canisters. They had a square peg for a round hole, literally. On the ground, engineers dumped replicas of every item available on Apollo 13 onto a table. They had to invent a solution using only what the astronauts had with them, and they had to do it fast. Working against the clock, the team in Houston devised an ingenious solution. It was a makeshift adapter, cobbled together from a flight manual cover, plastic bags, and a generous amount of duct tape. Mission Control carefully relayed the complex instructions over 240,000 miles of space. Following each step, the exhausted crew built the device, their very lives depending on its success. The crude device worked perfectly. Carbon dioxide levels began to fall, and the crew could breathe again. The ground team's ingenuity had solved one crisis, but many more still lay ahead. The journey home was long and agonizing. To conserve power, most systems remained off. The astronauts drifted through the silent darkness, rationing water and enduring the intense, bone-chilling cold. With their primary guidance system offline, the crew had to perform a crucial course correction manually. Using the Sun and Earth as reference points, they fired the lunar module's engine, steering their way home. As they neared Earth, It was time for the final, most dangerous task: reviving the frozen command module. There was no guarantee the systems would power back on after being subjected to such extreme cold. After transferring back to Odyssey, they jettisoned their lifeboat, Aquarius. For the first time, they saw the full extent of the damage. An entire side panel of the service module was gone. The world watched and waited. Re-entry began, and the spacecraft was engulfed in a communications blackout. No one knew if the heat shield had been damaged in the explosion. The silence was agonizing. After 4 minutes of terrifying silence, a crackle came over the radio. The command module had survived. Soon, its 3 main parachutes deployed perfectly, signaling a safe return against impossible odds. The crew splashed down safely in the Pacific Ocean. Their mission, a successful failure, proved that in the face of disaster, human ingenuity, calm leadership, and unwavering teamwork can achieve the impossible.